In the heart of rural Nigeria, where tall grasses swayed in the golden sunlight and red clay paths wove through clusters of palm trees, lived a small, close-knit village called Umuzuru. Here, tradition was not just a way of life, but the very essence of existence. At the center of Umuzuru were the Okeke family, Obinna, his wife Nika, and their two young children, Chika and Amara. Obinna, a respected hunter, held great reverence for the gods of their ancestors. He frequently visited the village shrine, offering kola nuts and palm wine, asking for protection over his family and blessings on his hunts. Nika, like many of the village women, wore beads and colorful wrappers, her wrists adorned with bangles. They lived humbly but with pride in their heritage. One day the village head, known as the Igwe, summoned all villagers to gather at the marketplace. News had spread that strangers, whites they called them, had arrived. These strangers brought a message about a God they claimed was the only true God. The missionaries, led by a man named Father Michael, arrived carrying a small wooden cross and a worn leather-bound Bible. They spoke of Jesus, a man who they said was not only a prophet but the Son of God, who loved everyone, even those who had never known him. They told the villagers about redemption, salvation, and an eternal life. But the villagers were suspicious. "How can this white man's God be more powerful than our ancestors' spirits?" they whispered to one another. The village elders and traditional priests viewed this new faith as a direct threat, one that could disturb the harmony of Umuzuru and disrespect their forefathers. But something about the words stirred Obinna. Despite the hostility and the warnings from the Igwe and elders, he and his wife returned to listen again. The teachings of love, forgiveness, and grace resonated deeply, unlike anything they had ever known. One night, after many days of prayer and soul-searching, Obinna made a bold decision. He and Nneka embraced the new faith, choosing to follow Christ. They became the first Christians in Umuzuru, much to the shock and anger of the village. Their conversion came at a great cost. They were shunned, called traitors, and cut off from village gatherings. Children would taunt Chika and Amara, throwing stones and sneering, "Followers of the white man's God." Obinna lost his hunting partners, and Nika was forbidden from using the village well. The family endured days of ridicule and nights filled with sorrow, but through it all they prayed. Obinna, though once a strong, proud hunter, now appeared weary, yet resolute. "We may lose everything," he said to Nika, "but we will stay faithful, even to the end." Then one fateful day, a great illness swept through Umuzuru, taking down even the strongest villagers, and no remedy or sacrifice to the village god seemed to work. When Obinna saw the suffering around him, he approached Father Michael for guidance, who prayed with him and brought medicine, treating both the sick and the well. Moved by their compassion and seeing his people healed, the Igwe himself requested Obinna to pray for his own ill mother. In that moment, the rift between Obinna and his people began to heal. Witnessing Obinna's quiet strength and the love shown by Father Michael, the villagers' hearts softened. One by one, families came forward, asking about the faith that had given the Okeke family such resilience and hope. As more people embraced Christianity, a small gathering grew, transforming into a village movement. Finally, on a bright, clear morning, the entire village gathered at the riverbank, where Father Michael baptized the villagers who had chosen to follow Christ. Standing together, now united in faith, Umuzuru was forever changed. The Okeke family had remained faithful, and their quiet strength had turned a village toward the light of a new hope.